Alright, so the Suns matched on Deandre Ayton's offer sheet a day ago. And of course, they made the right decision by matching the deal, but it's more so, should we have gone through this whole song and dance, or should they have just given him the 5 years when they first could have? The future with Ayton and the Suns is a bit uncertain as well, right? So, look, they could have given him the 5-year offer after his third season, and they wanted to offer him 4. That was the big thing this entire time. And in the end, that's basically the contract they ended up giving him. Except now, they might have just pissed him off enough to where the relationship is like never really going to be there. And that's the big question. As well as they can't trade him to January 15th. He's got veto power after 15th. Did they lose their biggest asset in the Kevin Durant trade, whether that's to the Nets or somewhere else? Yeah, that's possible as well. But speaking of that, the other thing that they did was they made it to where he's not a designated rookie extension guy, which is the whole, Ben Simmons and Bam can't be on the same team thing. Like, if they gave Ayton that 5 years, he would be one of those guys as well. And that does matter. But still, it's like, was it all worth it in the end for the relationship between him and the front office and all that? I don't know. I mean, the one thing people want to compare this to is the Gordon Hayward thing, where the Hornets played hardball with him, and, well, eventually he was out of there, right? And now this is going to be a test of Ayton, the front office, and all those players to be like, all right, we gotta embrace Deandre, and we gotta hope that he's all on the same page with us. And I mean, some of this does come back to Ayton as well. Like, yeah, I think the way the front office handled the whole thing wasn't totally worth it, but you still got to be a professional if you're Ayton here. You also have to be a professional if you're the front office and not make Ayton feel like he's excluded from the team even if he's on the team. You know what I mean? So it's a two-way street with this thing. And I think some of that's going to have to happen on the court, not just off of it. And yeah, I mean, this has been a storyline with Phoenix since they got Chris Paul. How much is Ayton really featured in the offense besides screening and being the cleanup guy and rolling to the basket, basically? Well, we do remember against the Clippers, this was in the first playoff run when they were going small, they did have to lean on him more with his post-ups and all that. And if this team ever needed to go into Chris Paul maintenance mode in the regular season, I think now might be the time to do that. It would have been easier to do that if they also picked up another offensive option on the perimeter, but, if Ayton can handle those extra possessions offensively where instead of Chris Paul running another pick and roll that leads to an 18-foot pull-up or, kick out to the corner or whatever, it's Ayton with an extra post-up. You dip Chris Paul's minutes a little bit more and you just have him really ready to go for the postseason. Unless CP3 doesn't want any of that, in which case I guess it's not going to happen. What was Phoenix's endgame? Was it just to hope until a sign and trade opened up for Ayton and then get whatever back for him? Because, their whole thing was, of course, go get a max offer and then we'll match the thing. Well, what if he just never got the offer? Would we have just been waiting? Because, if you keep playing hardball long enough, then it becomes a qualifying offer season and then unrestricted free agency. So, eventually they were just going to have to pay the dude, right? Unless, again, maybe they were just that sure that a sign and trade was going to open itself up. As far as a Kevin Durant trade, I mean, for one, not really confident it's going to happen. I guess I'm not confident it's going to happen either. I don't know. But the other thing is, what is Phoenix's best offer now? It's because, of course, Ayton can't be traded till January 15th, that whole thing. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and 5 firsts, 3 unprotected, 2 pick swaps, that whole thing. Am I going crazy about that if I'm the Nets? Also, you gotta throw Landry Shamet in there or something to make the money work a little bit. No, not really. Even if Mikal is very good. The other thing to think about now with Ayton's future with Phoenix and all that is alright, so let's say they have a disappointing playoff finish again, which, by the way, it should be said, even after the Game 7 loss to the Mavs and this whole weird offseason for them, they should still be really good. They could get the 1 seed in the West again. But now I think it's fair to question when it gets real tough, can they overcome it? Can Chris Paul hold up physically and whatever else? And so it's I don't know. I mean, if there needs to be a fall guy, if something ends up going wrong here in a year, is Ayton just going to be that guy? Again, they'd have to wait until, mid-July to actually move him because of this whole 1-year thing on the deal now, but I guess we'll just wait and see. I don't think the Suns have held up a sign that says, we love Deandre Ayton, we're keeping this guy no matter what. Is that fair? To talk about Indiana for a little bit, because of course they were involved here, we'll see how Miles Turner feels about this whole thing. I mean, he's been in trade rumors for so long, maybe he just doesn't care at this point, but the Pacers just straight up were yeah, we're looking to replace Miles Turner. And as far as losing out on Ayton, I mean, listen, it's very rare that a former number 1 overall pick has a chance to change teams in free agency, and if you're Indiana, I mean, you got that close, so hey, you know what, cool. It was a swing that didn't hit, although they did waive some guys, including, I think, Dwayne Washington, who's like not old, so that's kind of rough if he ends up being good. It's also just rough for him in general. Really, everybody who got waived in that thing. So that's kind of it. We've also got some Donovan Mitchell Knicks rumors a little bit. Apparently, there was a move that almost happened on, I believe, Tuesday night, but the Jazz wanted 6 picks from the Knicks, and they were like, yeah, you know what, we're good. So we'll see what happens there, but I might just do a video about that. I don't know.